How's it going, you guys? Mental Octopus here, and today I'm going to be doing a review on Battlefield 4, which is the latest AAA title in the Battlefield series. Alright, let's go. I'm going to start off by talking about the campaign aspect of the game, which was a big improvement from Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3's campaign was fun, but Battlefield 4's campaign was more immersive, had better developed characters, and just had a better plot overall. Beside the fact that there were some bugs and everything, I'm not going to go into that, but I just felt really immersed playing the Battlefield 4 campaign. I wanted to play it. I didn't feel like I just had to go through it. There were points where I just didn't want to put it down, but I had to because I had to sleep or whatnot. Battlefield 4's campaign felt like a really good book to me. I mean, not as it was written like a novel or something, but I just didn't feel like putting it down. I felt in touch with the characters, and you learn a lot about them through dialogue with other characters and such. Another nice feature was these little weapon caches, and you can change weapons, but you couldn't change attachments, which kind of bugged me. It felt kind of like a Bad Company 2's campaign. They had weapon caches like this too, but they also had explosive caches where you could change out explosives like a rocket launcher, or you could change it for like a C4 or a grenade launcher, Stinger missile, something like that, which was a nice touch. I played through the campaign on the normal difficulty, which is what I usually do with games, and there were points where I did die, which was only a few times. As you see, I got damaged there, but it didn't feel like it was super hard, you know. There was easy, normal, and then hard, and I might have to try going through it on hard, because normal, it just didn't seem hard enough. I've seen other reviews of Battlefield 4 saying that the campaign was pretty dull, maybe because you're on a ship a lot of the time, but when you're not on a ship, there's lots of varying environments and varying weather. Like you see here, there's a storm. It just adds to the whole immersion factor. They did it really good. And more points than just one in the Battlefield 4 campaign, they let you drive vehicles, which was nice, because it switches up between infantry fighting and, vehicle fighting. It's a nice change, because there was only, I think, 1 or 2 points in the Battlefield 3 campaign where you got to drive vehicles, so it was a nice addition. Overall, I'd give Battlefield 4's campaign a 9 out of 10. The only problem I had with it was that you were on a ship a lot of the time, which I've said before. But other than that, visuals are great. I thought the story was pretty good. Character development was a lot better than Battlefield 3, and it was really fun. Also, there was collectibles such as dog tags, which I didn't find a lot of, and there was more weapons than just what the enemies carried. There was something around the map, which I'll have to go back and do. The other aspect of Battlefield 4 was the multiplayer, which to me felt a lot smoother than Battlefield 3's. There were some bugs along the way, there's some lagging issues, which are just things that tend to happen at the launch of a game. There's rubber banding, there's FPS lag, there's texture glitches, there's sound glitches, but other than that, it just felt a lot more fast-paced and smooth. Right here I'm using the Assault class, which was an improvement from Battlefield 3 as well. It came stock with an AK-12, P226 M320HE, which was a grenade launcher, and a first aid pack along with an M67 frag grenade and the bayonet as your melee weapon. After using the Assault class for a while and unlocking the defibrillator, I couldn't seem to switch back to the old Battlefield 3 style of having a med pack and a defibrillator, which, on that topic of med pack, you didn't have the same med pack as in Battlefield 3. You have a smaller one which heals like 10 points every however long the tick is. You could unlock the big Battlefield 3 med pack later, but I just seemed to be sticking with the grenade launcher and the small med pack. After using the base weapons for a while, I found that the QBZ worked really well, which I'm using right here. It's unlocked through the campaign, I believe. Another good weapon is the M416, which seems to be like the new M16 of Battlefield 4, which I'll show in the next clip.
Вот медпакет.
Next up was the Engineer class, which had its own improvements. The base weapon is the MX4, which I didn't seem to like too much. It's a nice weapon, but it has a high recoil rate, and I just couldn't seem to get a hang of it, especially at medium to long ranges. The base launcher for the Engineer class was the MBT Law. It has its a cool little lock-on feature where if you shoot near enough to a vehicle, it will then redirect itself towards the vehicle and give a fair amount of damage, which it isn't as strong as the other launchers. There's more launchers included in Battlefield 4 than there was in Battlefield 3, which I seem to like. Whenever I spawn in on vehicles, I always feel the need to use the Engineer class for its repair abilities. The repair tool works just about the same as it does in Battlefield 3. Repair times seem to be a little bit faster at times, sometimes they seem to be a little bit slower. I don't know the full specs on it, but it works as you think. The first lock-on launcher that you get is the Stinger missile. It's just about the same as it was in Battlefield 3. I don't think it can reach as far ranges as it could in Battlefield 3, but I'm not sure of the exact specs. Another cool thing that they added is when you hit a vehicle, you get hit points for the vehicle. It's not just points if you disable or destroy the vehicle, which is nice because you know for a fact that you did hit it other than the hit marker, and you also are rewarded for your efforts. Support was the class that I felt that was lacking the most. The base weapon was the U100 MK5, which seemed really weak. It yields good results as a suppression weapon, which I think support was mainly used for, but it doesn't have a whole bunch of damage, which I thought wasn't a very good introduction for the support class, which is supposed to be the beefy class. The support class, in my opinion, was able to show off the magnifier scope, which was a nice improvement that they had in Battlefield 4. It also came with your standard ammo pack, and a new weapon which is the Airburst, which I will show in the next clip. The Airburst is like a weaker version of the grenade launcher. It explodes usually behind cover or the distance that you aim it at. It's good for taking out enemies behind cover. As you saw there were a couple enemies behind that barricade, and I got one of them with the Airburst. The last class of Battlefield 4 that I have to show off is the Recon class, which had a major improvement. It was very weak in Battlefield 3, and in Battlefield 4 they buffed it. The main weapon is the CSLR4, which is your stock weapon. Your gadget is the PLD, and you also had C4 explosives, which made the Recon class a lot more powerful, I felt. You can take out vehicles now, or blow down walls, whatever you would normally do with C4. In addition, the Recon class had motion sensor balls like in Battlefield 2, which can be unlocked as one of the first unlocks. You could also attach a smaller zoom scope and run around like a more aggressive recon, which I felt was done a lot better in Battlefield 4. You could aggressive recon in Battlefield 3, but it wasn't as easy. The CSLR4 is a great bolt-action sniper rifle. It's very powerful, but the next bolt-action sniper in the Recon class is the M40A5, which has more speed but less power. I prefer that. In addition to the classes in Battlefield 4, there were also pickup weapons, such as the USAS-12, the M82A3 Barrett sniper rifle, and the M32 MGL grenade launcher. Here I'll show off each of them.
цель! Вижу! Вражеский ЛАВ!
North of your position. Hostile enemy sniper.
Видел вражеский ЛАВ!